Hello there, happy students. Today we are covering the 7 principles of government for your quiz tomorrow. First we have federalism. Now federalism, the definition is when power is divided and shared between different levels of government. Now this is how I'm taking notes. I have 4 sheets of paper here. If you want, right now what I suggest you do, and I'm sorry I should have said this before I put this on here, what I suggest you do is pause the screen and draw what I drew. This information should already be in your notes, but if you want to write it again, you can. But as I go through, when you see the kind of the blank canvas, go ahead and write what I write. Remember, you're doing what I do, so you can have an extra strong review. Oh, that rhymed, because I'm so hip and with it. Okay, so it's when power is divided and shared between different levels of government. Now, our levels of government are going to refer to local, state, and national government. Now this can be with anything. This could be with law enforcement, where we would have the HPD, the state trooper, and the FBI. Or it could have to do with local courts, state courts, federal courts, or the Supreme Court. You could also think of it as, when we're talking about that power being divided between nation and state, but there's also going to be powers that they share. There's also going to be powers that they share. So we have powers reserved just for the nation, like coining money, like, oh man, I just totally forgot. Coining money would be one. States can't coin their own money, but states are going to set up elections and set up the public school system. Now our chant for this is federalism is what we say, shared powers in Cyprus, Texas, USA. We say Cyprus, Texas, USA because this is local, state, national. Talking about shared powers. Shared powers. Okay, next we have popular sovereignty. So take a minute to draw this. Take a minute to draw this. Put your screen on pause. Okay. Oh, and an example of federalism would be the 10th Amendment, but I didn't write that down, so that happens. Okay, popular sovereignty. This is the idea that the government gets its power from the people. Our example is we the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union. It's part of the preamble to the Constitution. So for this, popular sovereignty, the government gets its power from the people. So right here I drew a crown, and I'm going to color in my crown now. Yay! And on that crown, I'm going to write across it, people. People rule the government. People are in charge. And so our chant for this one was, kings are sovereign and they think that's cool, but here in the States, the people rule. And for this chant, I had you put the crown on your head. Kings are sovereign, just like kings wear crowns, and now the people wear the crown, and they think that's cool, but here in the States, the people rule. And then you kind of do a little fist pump. That's what that says. Put this on, and then you do a fist pump for the people rule. So be sure you know these chants and these examples for your quiz tomorrow. That is going to be important. Now next, we have republicanism. Okay, so you might want to draw what I draw, write what I write, whatever. Republicanism has to do with citizens rule through elected representatives. Citizens rule through elected representatives, meaning the citizens themselves, we don't have a billion people in Congress. However, we do have, we do have certain representatives that the people have chosen. So our rap for this one, was reppin' the people, and you kind of did like a peace out sign. Reppin' the people every day, gotta have our votes if they want to stay. And so we did it acting like you're peacing out, and then you turn it up and made it into a V for vote. Reppin' the people every day, gotta have our votes if they want to stay. Your symbols for this was just a vote sign, or you could do the V and say it's a peace sign for vote. So reppin' the people every day, gotta have our votes if they want to stay. All right, next. Guys, I know I'm flying through this, so pause it if you need to. Pause it if you need to, if you need to kind of take a minute and watch something again. Next will be limited government. Basically, this is simply the idea that the government doesn't have infinite power. The power of the government doesn't go on and on and on and on forever, forever. It doesn't go on forever. In fact, it's limited by the Constitution and likewise by the 10th Amendment. Your wrap for this one was, we don't want a nation, and so you kind of did the S with your finger, the snake finger, don't want a nation that pushes and shoves, so my states and my peeps, we've got limited gov. And we did the little, just like how when I made a frame with my hands, because the Constitution is the framework of government. We don't want a nation that pushes and shoves, so my states and my peeps, we've got limited gov. So that's limited government. Our example is the 10th Amendment and the Constitution. Next. This one's going to look a little trickier. Doesn't this look like a foreign language? It's kind of cool. It's like I'm writing in Aztec. Or not Aztec, but maybe Atlantis language, the lost language. Checks and balances just means that each branch of government has a check on the other two branches, because we don't want any one branch getting too powerful. That's a big fear of our people, is that the national government's going to get too powerful. So for this one, we say executive vetoes, judicial overturns, legislative overrides, checks and balances learned. And I kind of just did the hand signals with you, but this one is kind of like when you push it aside, executive vetoes, judicial is going to overturn that. Judicial can overturn laws and declare them unconstitutional. And the legislative branch can override a president's veto, and then we do checks and balances learned. You kind of make like a little check with your hand. The symbol is also the triangle with a check in the middle, with legislative, judicial, and executive. Individual rights is next. Like I said, guys, I know I'm going fast. Individual rights. Rights are guaranteed by the, our freedoms guaranteed by the Bill of Rights. Their rights and freedoms guaranteed by the Bill of Rights. An example of this is going to be the Bill of Rights, obviously, but also they talk about these unalienable rights. I want you to think about what document talks about those. We hold these truths to be self-evident. That comes from the Declaration of Independence. That was our kind of our first scene of these individual rights in the United States. And our chant for this is, can't take our liberty in the middle of the night. Constitution says individual rights. I-E-L-D. So this right here is a shield, and that's what you do. You kind of create a shield with your hand. Can't take our liberty in the middle of the night. The Constitution says individual rights. And guys, again, you do the Constitution thing with your hand, because the Bill of Rights are added to the Constitution. The Bill of Rights are part of the Constitution. Last one was separation of powers. Separation of powers. We have 3 different branches, and they each have a different job to do. We have 3 different branches, and each has a job. So each branch has its own job and is in charge of something. Either each in charge of something different. And this can be explained best in Articles 1, 2, and 3 of the Constitution. It lays out what their jobs are. Legislative branch makes the laws. The executive branch is the president and the people that he surrounds himself with. The judicial branch interprets the laws. The judicial branch interprets the laws and says what laws are constitutional and what laws are not constitutional. So our chant for this one is, legislative makes, executive is present, you do a salute. Judicial interprets, and I had you pound your fist for this one. Judicial interprets, so the power says. Legislative makes, executive is pres, judicial interprets, so the power says. Okay, you do need to make sure you know the examples that I'm telling you about, and also you need to know Federalists and Anti-Federalists. That would be on the other video, and it's in your notes in your ISN. Happy studying. Have a great evening. Bye-bye. Oh, and also, if you show me this tomorrow that you took notes while you watched the video, you'll get a special surprise from me. And it may or may not be in the form of something edible. We'll see. Not that I give out candy or anything like that in my class ever, because that would be unhealthy. Seriously. Guys, what are you thinking? I don't even know. Okay. See y'all tomorrow. Happy studying. Bye.